You mentioned the word second-class citizens a lot. I wanted to talk about people who actually are second-class citizens. So I have a lot of family in East Jerusalem and the West Bank who are treated by the occupation as second, third, less than animal citizens. They are given temporary residency cards in a city they were born in, whereas somebody who is Jewish from any country in the world can come and live as their next door neighbor and is given permanent residency overnight. That is an apartheid system. Secondly, many members of my family have been racially abused by Israeli settlers, physically and verbally and every way imaginable. They have full protection of the Israeli military. A family friend of my family's was dragged off the streets in 2014, put into a car, burnt to death. His name was Mohammed Abu Khadayr. The Israeli government takes full responsibility for their settlement program. They are encroaching on Palestinian communities in the West Bank. Do you really think that you know better the experiences of Palestinians under occupation to be able to say that Israel is not an apartheid state? It is. I have experienced it. My family have experienced it. Who are you to say that our lived experience is wrong?
Thank you for the question. Can I just ask a question of the audience? And by a show of hands, how many people here believe that Israel has the right to exist?
I don't think the audience survey...
It's entirely relevant. I'm asking a question. By a show of hands, how many people here believe Israel has the right to exist? Okay, less than half of the room. How many people here would condemn the Hamas attacks on October the 7th? Most people, I'm glad to see. And how many people here believe that Israel has the right to self-defense? A minority? How? Half? Maybe less than half. Thank you. Very helpful for me to understand what kind of wavelength we're on. So if you've got personal family members, I didn't hear your question word for word because of the acoustics, but if you've got family members who've been killed and harmed, my heart goes out to you and them, and innocent people shouldn't be hurt, whatever their religion, whatever their race, whatever their nationality. That's my starting point. Listen, when it comes to Israel and Gaza, Israel is a country that is fighting on several fronts against Islamist jihadist groups, whether it's in the north from Lebanon with Hezbollah, firing thousands of rockets into Israel, killing many people, whether it's obviously Hamas in the south in Gaza and the disgusting, brutal October the 7th attacks where innocent Israelis were murdered and where many hostages are still held in captivity, whether it's Islamic Jihad, whether it's the Houthis in Yemen, whether it's Iranian-backed proxies in Syria. There are many, many bodies which are intent on the destruction of Israel. Indeed, the Iranian constitution enshrines it explicitly that it's intent on destroying Israel. And so this is one of the few democracies in the Middle East. This is one of the few countries.
Please allow the guest to answer the question.
It's one of the few democracies in the Middle East. It's one of the few countries where minorities are treated equally, where women are treated equally, where gay people are treated equally, where Muslims and Arabs are treated equally. And so...
Order, please. Do not interrupt. I will have to ask you to leave the chamber if you interrupt again. Please continue.
And so I very much believe in the idea of the State of Israel and its right to exist and its legal right to defend itself against these terrorist groups which are intent on destroying it. And when you talk about the West Bank is, the Israelis are there, it's disputed territory, but they are there for historical reasons, disputed. They are also there, importantly, for strategic security reasons. And as I've said, Israel on all fronts is under attack. It's essential that the Israelis have a presence there to prevent a further invasion by terrorists in the form that we saw on October the 7th, to prevent the murder of Israelis. And that's why it is right that we defend Israel's right to defend herself in the way that they're doing right now. We need to ensure that this war comes to an end, but we also need to ensure that the hostages are released. Women were raped, children were killed. They murdered Kafir and Ariel Bibas in cold blood. They paraded and celebrated the release of hostages as if it was a carnival. They use UNRWA-funded shelters to hold the hostages in. UNRWA-funded shelters that are funded by the British taxpayer because this disgusting Labour government keeps funding UNRWA, an organisation that is complicit with Hamas. So, listen, there will be loss of life in Gaza of innocent people. And that's a tragedy. But we need to ensure that Israel is secure, that Israel defends itself against indefensible or unforgivable and brutal terrorism, and that we bring an end to organisations like Hamas and Hezbollah and the other Islamist jihadist groups that are intent on destroying Israel.
So I do want to push on one point. You're a lawyer yourself, and we have seen more than 46,000 people killed, more than 90,000 injured, many thousands children, the entire state of Gaza in rubbles. The United Nations, Amnesty International have declared it's one of the worst crimes and this genocide of the 21st century. The ICC had issued arrest warrants against the Prime Minister of Israel. Is this behavior of a state that believes in equality, human rights, and the rule of law?
Let's go back to the basics of international law and the Genocide Convention, where genocide is defined. Genocide is defined in the international treaty as being a specific intent to destroy a particular group, protected group. And that group is to be defined by ethnicity, nationality, race or religion. Now, Israel is retaliating following the October the 7th attacks by Hamas. Hamas are a proscribed terrorist organisation according to UK law. Israel is fighting against Hamas. Hamas runs Gaza. Hamas has been largely in control of Gaza since 2005. Hamas is using human shields to fight the Israelis. Hamas has constructed a sophisticated and extensive network of tunnels, longer than even the London Underground network of tunnels. Hamas is in receipt of billions of pounds of aid to do so. And so the claims of genocide have been trumped up, are politicized, and frankly, unwarranted. Because targeting a proscribed terrorist organisation is not genocide, that is not a breach of international law.
But 56,000 people killing those, wounding 97,000 people, and killing many thousand children. I mean, when you talk about international law, then let's talk fully. I mean, under what definition of international humanitarian law does it allow for a state to bomb human rights shelters, to bomb hospitals, to bomb religious places? Give me and point me to a single treaty or international humanitarian law convention, whether it is under the Red Cross conventions or more the Geneva conventions, that allows any state, in regards to their self-defense, allows them to disproportionately bombard entire regions, rubble entire regions, and the same areas that the United Nations have prescribed them as shelters for innocents, for those trying to flee war.
So do you condemn... Do you condemn the October 7th attack?
Of course I condemn
Great.
the October 7th
Now,
attack.
if they attacked Israel, they still got hostages in captivity. Israel, Hamas themselves have said they would do it again. Israel has a duty to defend itself and its people and to get the hostages back. It's got to do that. It's got to go into Gaza to do that. Now, in warfare, civilians will be killed. That is an inevitable tragedy of warfare. Innocent civilians will be killed. That is not a reason, unfortunately, to not defend your country and your people. And unfortunately, even over 2 years on, hostages, or nearly over 2 years on, over a year on, hostages have not been released. There is still, Hamas have still shown intent to attack Israel. And unfortunately, Israel is still left in the position where it's forced to defend itself. What would you do? You just stop? You'd give up on getting the hostages? No. Israel has to go in and get the hostages. You can't just abandon your people. You can't just allow your country to be attacked again by a group that has said that they would do it again. So, yes, and as for the International Court of Justice and their action against Israel, they have been shown to be totally politicized, I'm afraid. The suggestion that there is genocide, as I said, is totally unfounded according to
So are you saying that the
law.
ICC warrants are wrong against Benjamin Netanyahu?
I am saying I disagree with
What
the
about
issuance of those
Putin?
ICC warrants. Of course I do. Those.
So is the ICC warrant against Putin correct?
Yes, of course it is.
And it's
because
wrong
Putin
against
has
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Putin has engaged in a brutal invasion of another democratic sovereign nation. Hamas in Israel, it's not comparable at all.
The same ICC.
Hamas, a proscribed terrorist organization, has invaded Israel, murdered innocent Israelis, taken them hostage, and vowed to do it again.
But the same
It is absolutely incumbent on the Israeli state to take self-defensive measures.
The same International Criminal Court that you have so much confidence in when it issued arrest warrants against Putin is the same court that it issued arrest warrant Benjamin Netanyahu. Isn't there a double standard when it comes to one country that you like so much, you don't like the ICC, but when it comes to another and you don't like so much, you like them?
No. Unfortunately, there is institutional capture with many of these organizations, whether it's the ICC, whether it's the ICJ, the United Nations, Amnesty International, all sorts of NGOs. They've all, they all parrot the talking points, the anti-Israel talking points, and this is the world we live in. There is a high level of anti-Israel sentiment. There's a high level of anti-Semitism. There is, look at these people out there. You know, they may be, I don't know if they are, shouting from the river to the sea. That is a chant for the eradication of Israel from the face of the map. That is a chant for the extermination of Israelis. That's anti-Semitic, if they are chanting it. I don't know if they're chanting it, but a lot of these protesters often chant it. And it is an anti-Semitic chant, to my mind. So it's become, the problem we've got is anti-Semitism and anti-Israel sentiment has become a left-wing kind of campaign. It's become, it's a distortion. It's a distortion of right and wrong, actually. And of course, we want innocent Palestinians to have a place to live and for them to live in safety and security. But I'm afraid, and we also know that a majority of the Palestinian people do actually support Hamas. That is a concerning piece of evidence. Israel has the right, and I would say the duty, to defend itself.